Paper was like gold in medieval times.
Oh, not tobacco, sugar.
That everything we thought we knew about the world might turn out to be completely wrong.
June 2010. A lone hiker in Chaco Culture National Historical Park stumbles upon the body of an unknown animal.
It had a large cavity. I couldn't see any internal organs. Inside, there was just a void. I've never seen any creature like this.
This is National Park Secrets and Legends. Chaco Culture National Historical Park. Hidden in a canyon in northwestern New Mexico, Chaco is the site of the Anasazi ruins, an archaeological treasure over 800 years old. It's considered one of the greatest architectural achievements of Native American culture. But for some, Chaco also has a dark side. It's believed that within these breathtaking structures lie inexplicable forces. August 2008, lone hiker Todd Hayen explores the mysterious ruins of Chaco Canyon.
I went essentially on an archaeological journey that was spiritual, and I was very interested in ancient primal cultures that were there.
That night, Todd sets up his tent amidst Chaco's ancient ruins. He falls into a deep sleep when suddenly he is awoken by a bizarre sensation.
I describe it as a snap. It was like an internal experience of light and sound.
All of a sudden, Todd is hit by sensations sweeping through him, as if some external force is trying to take control of his mind and his body.
It felt like it was something that was coming in, an entity, a spirit, a person that wanted to talk but was very angry with me. It wanted to tell me something but wanted to speak through my voice, through my own body.
Struggling to understand, Todd tries to communicate with the unseen power.
I asked this entity what it wanted, and this voice said inside of me, "You've got to leave because you don't respect this." It scared me. It scared me very much.
What could explain the terrifying presence trying to possess Todd's body and mind?
Maybe this is an angered person from a material realm, from a time that somebody lived and then died, and their spirit kind of lingers on.
Could these forces be echoes of Chaco's past inhabitants? Todd Hayen's experience is not unique. Other visitors to Chaco report similar terrifying encounters. June 2010. Don Gellinella explores the highlands 6 miles north of Chaco Canyon. He ventures miles from the nearest road when he notices disturbing changes in the desert.
It was deadly quiet there. I mean, you could hear your heart beating. That's how quiet it was. It was eerie. I was just about to turn around, and I saw something unusual amongst the sagebrush.
Don makes a shocking discovery. The body of an animal, unlike anything he's ever seen.
At first, I thought it was a dog, but when I looked closely, I could see that it had some features that were very unusual. The snout was elongated, more like a tapir, and it had a very large canine tooth. It had elongated back legs, which ended in a strange hoof-like shape.
More disturbing is the gaping hole in the side of the carcass. Unlike the bite wound of a predator, the mark is perfectly round. Its precision is almost surgical.
Inside, there was just a void. I couldn't see any internal organs. I didn't see any insects, blood or anything like that, but it was just sterile. There was nothing around it.
What could explain this otherworldly creature or its disturbing wounds? Some believe the answer is intimately connected with the native people's ancestral past and one of Chaco's most feared phenomena.
The Native Americans speak of these malevolent entities which can enter a person or even an animal.
For centuries, Native Americans have described terrifying shape-shifting creatures capable of possessing their victims. They are called Skinwalkers.
A skinwalker can actually take the form of any animal it wishes, depending on its power, and most of the time those animals are canine, dog-like, wolf-like. They can run through fences, seem to disappear. Their tracks can go from being completely trackable to shallower and shallower to the point where that disappears as well.
Well, this hole in the animal could be the exit point of whatever spirit had taken over this animal. Did what it had to do and then exited out and just left this carcass on the ground.
According to legend, skinwalkers can take over not only the bodies of their victims, but also their minds. Could this explain Todd Haynes' terrifying encounter at Chaco?
Skinwalkers traditionally feed off of people's emotions. There's many cases of skinwalkers doing things for the sole purpose of making people scared.
They'll get inside your head and they'll talk as if they're coming out of you, but they're not really you, and you can kind of identify that something is taking you over.
If skinwalkers are responsible for these harrowing encounters, where did they come from? Some believe the answers might be found not only in the ruins of Chaco Canyon, but in the sky above them.
I looked up and there was this massive lit object in the sky. I just knew it was something incredibly powerful.
Chaco Culture National Historical Park in northwestern New Mexico. Here, malevolent spirits called skinwalkers are said to roam Chaco's ruins, taking possession of people's minds and viciously mutilating animals in the area. These terrifying events aren't the only ones occurring here. Visitors have also reported other shocking encounters. June 22nd, 2013, Eileen Meyer tours in the ancient ruins of Chaco. A frequent visitor to the area, she is drawn to the park's mysterious structures and ancient monuments.
Sometimes I get a little fearful because it's this big, scary place. So the place that I really wanted to go was Casa Rinconada, the largest kiva at Chaco Canyon. I went by myself, I hiked up there, and I was very excited about that.
Eileen approaches the circular structure where the ancient inhabitants of Chaco conducted religious ceremonies. As she draws closer, she is suddenly overwhelmed by powerful emotions.
I stood and was looking over the kiva, and I don't know how to describe it, but it feels like downloads are happening. Like there's a whole lot of activity.
Eileen's uncontrollable feelings continue deep into the night. Unable to sleep, she wanders the mysterious ruins of Chaco.
So I was in a kind of an altered state, I would call it. There was so much activity in my consciousness. It was just, I was vibrating, I was alive and awake. It's scary and exciting at the same time.
Venturing a short distance from the campsite, Eileen is suddenly confronted by an astonishing sight.
I looked up and there was this lit object in the sky. It looked massive, like a massive structure.
Inexplicably, the lights mirror Eileen's inner feelings of elation.
There was a vibration in the air that was just intense and magical and wonderful all at the same time.
Mesmerized, Eileen is once again overwhelmed by the same forces that swept through her body earlier that day.
I'm standing there staring at this, thinking I was having just the most incredible epiphany, joyful experience, probably of my life.
What can explain Eileen's powerful, uplifting experience when others have terrifying encounters? Some believe the answer lies with Chaco's builders, the Anasazi, and their use of a science called archaeoastronomy.
Archaeoastronomy is based on the concept that the Anasazi people had a lot more insight into the movement of not only the sun and the moon, but also the stars. And when we look at the features of Chaco Canyon, there are solstice alignments, there are equinox alignments, and there are even alignments to the sun itself.
Incredibly, the Anasazi are believed to have aligned their buildings to control how sound waves move through the canyon.
You can drop a rock on one side of the canyon and you can hear it on the other side. And they were able to hone skills that other ancient ones weren't able to hone.
The fact that Chaco Canyon has such sophisticated archaeoastronomy features attests to the brilliance of their people.
It's claimed the Anasazi had such advanced knowledge, they aligned their great monuments to amplify energy flowing through the canyon. Some believe this could explain the intense experiences that people have in the park. The Anasazi built here for 800 years. Then, without warning, the inexplicable happened.
As quickly as the Chaco Canyon culture blossomed, it also disappeared without a trace. Around the year 1250, the people just vanished.
What can explain the sudden disappearance of the Anasazi? And how did they acquire the knowledge to build such remarkable structures? A discovery by hikers in 1972 may provide the answer.
They weren't sure what it was, or exactly what it did, how it worked, but it certainly was otherworldly.
Chaco Culture National Historical Park is home to the greatest indigenous architecture in the Americas. It's believed these impressive structures are aligned to create a powerful energy vortex that could explain the intense experiences of many visitors. Even more remarkable is that the Anasazi who built these structures over 1,000 years ago vanished without a trace. Where did they go, and why did they leave? A discovery many years ago may provide a clue. 1972, a group of hikers explores a remote area of the park. They move deeper into the canyon when they discover something on the ground. One of them begins to dig.
A group of hikers stumbled upon a number of artifacts. Things that you might expect to have been left there by some Native American tribes. Pieces of pottery, which isn't uncommon for this area, certainly.
They find items dating back to the 8th century. As they continue to dig, they come across a strange metal disc etched with mysterious symbols. The symbols do not resemble anything they've ever seen.
This device just made no sense as far as being a Native American artifact. They notified the authorities, and they were very interested in this device, and then it was acquired by the government.
It's claimed that U.S. intelligence agents arrived to acquire the disc and unlock its secrets. Their project is given the top-secret code name, Ancient Arrow.
Unfortunately, they hit a dead end. They couldn't figure out what this was, what it was supposed to do, how it worked, even what its true purpose was.
It would take 22 years before Chaco Canyon surrenders more clues to help solve this mystery.
Well, in 1994, there was a landslide in this canyon, and it opened up an entrance into a cave system.
It's claimed the government quickly sends in a team to investigate. They discover a series of 23 interconnected caverns bored into solid rock. In the 23rd and final chamber, they discover a curious object that defies explanation. It is a large disk of unknown material whose purpose is a mystery.
They weren't sure what it was, or exactly what it did, how it worked, what it meant, but it certainly was otherworldly.
The agents take the disk to a lab for analysis.
After several years of trying, they were finally able to break the code and open the disk. And what they found was absolutely astounding.
8,000 pages of information from a people calling themselves the Wingmakers.
The Wingmakers identified themselves as representatives of a future version of humanity that lived some 750 years in our future. That makes them time travelers.
Did these time travelers help the Anasazi build their great structures? Are the Wingmakers key to explaining the mysteries of Chaco Canyon? Incredibly, some claim the truth does not lie with visitors from the future. It lies with visitors from another world.
All the aspects of Chaco was planned and designed in purpose.
How this could have occurred is either they were master astronomers or maybe there was some kind of contact with extraterrestrial Pleiadians.
Chaco Culture National Historical Park is a powerful place where some visitors report intense feelings of either fear or joy. It's claimed the area is also home to malevolent spirits called Skinwalkers and to caverns containing mysterious artifacts allegedly left by human time travelers. But Chaco's biggest mystery is the sudden disappearance some 700 years ago of the Anasazi, the original builders of these vast and complex structures. What can explain all these strange events, and are they connected? Some believe the answer may be found in the layout of these ancient ruins.
One thing that's very unique about Chaco Canyon is the displacement of the archaeological features throughout the 12-mile canyon.
Pueblo Bonito, the largest and most sacred structure of Chaco Canyon, was built by the Anasazi over 1,000 years ago. Remarkably, its kivas align with a distant and mystically powerful star cluster known as the Pleiades. Many wonder how the Anasazi people could have acquired the tools and the knowledge to align with this mysterious celestial body, located 440 light years from Earth.
How this could have occurred is either they were master astronomers and they had some way of observing the Pleiades star system from here on Earth, or maybe there was some kind of contact with extraterrestrial Pleiadians.
Some believe in a shocking theory that the Earth was designed long ago by a highly intelligent alien species, and that Chaco Canyon was constructed to be a portal between our planet and Pleiades.
All the aspects of Chaco was planned and designed in purpose, just the way an architect would do a drawing for a building, or even a mock-up or a computer CG design for it. That was done for Chaco.
Richard Leviton also claims the Anasazi could communicate with Earth's original designers. This could explain how they were able to align their buildings so precisely with the Pleiades star cluster.
And they would have taken regular meetings with the higher-ups that direct Earth reality, and they would say, can you guys do like 300 years at Chaco? We need to have the place occupied and maintained and lived in for a while for the benefit of the Earth.
If Chaco Canyon is a portal to other realms, it could explain the existence of skinwalkers, who some claim have terrified visitors and mutilated animals in the area.
What's so interesting about the skinwalkers is there are particular areas that the Native American people would completely avoid visiting. And in these areas, there were rumors of creatures coming out of portals, appearing out of nowhere, maybe even attacking them.
Skinwalkers are commonly seen in portal areas or areas that have portal activity. The veil is thinner in these areas, and being thinner, they have basically more power.
Interdimensional portals could also explain how humans from the future were able to visit Chaco centuries ago. They could also explain Chaco Canyon's most enduring mystery, the disappearance of the Anasazi people.
Maybe they stepped through the portal, which Chaco Canyon has been described as, and went maybe up to the Pleiades.
I propose that they left because their job was done. You could even think of it as a contract. We'll let Chaco be dormant for a while, and we'll go stimulate some other place.
Where the Anasazi disappeared to is still one of the world's most baffling mysteries. Whoever they were, their legacy lives on in the great monuments of Chaco Culture National Historical Park, where powerful forces will continue to flow, impacting the minds and spirits of visitors for eternity.
There are places on the planet, and I believe Chaco is one of them, that feels like the heart of Mother Earth, where you get in touch with what's natural and what's real.
It feels like a special place. It's so beautifully primeval. There's just a sense that you're going back in time when you visit Chaco. It's so quiet, and the sky is so vast. It feels like a very spiritual place.
That's why Chaco Canyon is the cradle of North American civilization.